Hi, welcome to Happy Times Tours. My name is Chris. I'm the owner of Happy Times Tours, and thank you for watching this travel show. Let's get started. Happy Times are found here. We have a lot of professional memberships. We belong to the American Bus Association, Visit Milwaukee, Circle Wisconsin, and a couple different ones in Michigan. Why travel with us? Well, we have custom tours. We get excited to plan our tours. Every year we go and pick out destinations, ask our customers where they want to go, and we get really excited about planning our tours. I can honestly say I would go on any one of our trips because I would enjoy it. I know we plan the meals and everything, and it's because we do it as if we were going on it. We have professional tour directors who are there to assist you, take care of you, make sure everything is all done and everything runs smoothly on every tour. We're local. You could meet any of us in your neighborhood at any time. And to say the least, we have fun and some happy times on our tours. Now we have 4 different types of extended tours. We have extended vacations, which is our classic vacations, including attractions, events, meals, shows, all of that good stuff. See America Value Experiences, our SAVE programs. These are tours where you'll stay at a casino, but there's lots of sightseeing included. Now we also have vacations called Super Savings Vacations, and these are staying at casino properties and then a lot of optional tours. So you can set the pace and the budget of your vacation. Then we have destination drinking, which is our alcohol days, tours that have a little bit more alcohol type things included, like distilleries and breweries and wineries. Our pickup locations, local area pickups we have in Madison, Johnson Creek, and Milwaukee in Wisconsin, and a lot of tours pick up also in Gurnee, Illinois. Home pickup, we do have that on a few tours, and that is in Dane, Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha, Jefferson, Waukesha, Ozaki, and Washington counties in Wisconsin, and on some tours in Lake County, Illinois. But if you live outside those home pickup locations, don't worry. You can do a pre-night at an area hotel in either Milwaukee, Madison, or Johnson Creek, and then you just drive a short distance in the morning to meet the coach. We have an optional travel protection plan that we offer on all extended vacations. This is through Allianz Insurance. All right, our first tour we're going to talk about, Mackinac Island Stay and Play, June 17th through the 20th. We could use a few more people on this. If you are looking for one of the most relaxing vacations you can have, this is it. If you just want to get away from it all, even motor vehicles, because there's no motor vehicles allowed on Mackinac Island, this is the trip for you. We have 3 nights at the Murray Hotel on Mackinac Island. Supposedly it's haunted. I've never experienced anything, but it's supposed to be haunted. And what we did include is a horse-drawn carriage tour of Mackinac Island. So you could get familiar with the whole island, learn the history, all of that, before you have leisure time to explore Mackinac Island as you would like. From horse-drawn carriage rides to bicycles to walking to shopping to fudge making to the Grand Hotel, there's something to do. Or you might want to just sit and relax by the water. All right, another tour takes us to Michigan again, the Majestic Marvels of Mid-Michigan, 5 days, July 8th through the 12th. This has some very unique sightseeing included on it. The first thing we're going to do is go and take a guided tour of the Rogers Street Fishing Village and Great Lakes Coast Guard Museum, which is in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. We're going to do that before we board the SS Badger Ferry and cross Lake Michigan to Ludington, Michigan. We'll then overnight in Ludington, and we will get on the next morning the sand dune buggy for a nice sand dune buggy tour. We'll also do a guided tour of Sleeping Bear Dunes National Park and a guided architecture tour of the Charlevoix region for these unique created mushroom houses. You won't be going into any of them as they're private residences, but you will see them from the outside, and you can see they kind of remind me of a Hobbit house. We also are going to tour the Lavender Hill Farm, which is so beautiful, and they have so much lavender. It's just absolutely stunning scenery on top of the tour. And then we have a very unique experience where we're staying at the Thunder Bay Resort. What we do when we first get there is we board these, they'll take the bags and put them in our rooms and all that good stuff. But we board horse-drawn carriages, and we are taken through an elk preserve, so you get to see all the elk out in the wild, to this cabin, which is the lower picture. That's where we have a gourmet dinner, and then take the horse-drawn carriages right back up to the resort and go to your room. We also included a few of the unique businesses in the area, like Fairview Organic Maple Farm and the Farmer's Creamery, which uses unique processes for people with allergies to like gluten and things like that, lactose. They have some unique products. Of course, no trip would be complete without a Gordon Lightfoot tribute. And our last thing before we return home is wine tasting at the Silver Lining. All right, Colorado Trains and Trails, July 26th through August 1st. This tour only has a few seats left, so if you're interested, I suggest you book as soon as possible. It includes 3 different rails and a lot of sightseeing. The first rail is Pikes Peak Cog Railway, so we'll be going way up to the top of Pikes Peak. High altitude, but it's worth it. The sights are amazing. Then we'll come back down and do the Royal Gorge Railroad, and as you can see, it runs right alongside the river, and it's got beautiful rock formations. And then another one is more out in the mountain areas, Georgetown Loop Railroad. All 3 of those are magnificent but different. Then we have the U.S. Air Force Academy and the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Training Centers in Colorado Springs will be touring, as well as a guided tour of the Garden of the Gods, where you're going to see the movie How Did the Red Rocks Get There at the Visitor Center as well. Then before departing Colorado Springs, we will take in a show and a chuck wagon dinner at the Flying W Ranch and stop to visit the Buffalo Bill Museum and Grave. All right, a tour that I want to talk about, Detroit Your Way, August 12th through the 15th. If you have not been to Detroit in the last 10 to 15 years, you don't know what you're missing. It's not the old Detroit. It is a brand new Detroit that's full of innovation, art, creativity. There's music festivals everywhere. It's full of activity and life. It's so much fun being in Detroit. So we are going to stay at the Radisson Hotel for 3 nights. This is the Radisson Hotel, that round hotel. So the rooms are a little unique because they're pie-shaped. And they have, I took this picture because our Detroit office is actually located in the Radisson Southfield, and their breakfast buffet is phenomenal, from fresh eggs to potatoes to a couple different choices of meats, lots of fresh fruit and baked goods. It's a phenomenal breakfast. Now on day 2, you get to pick what you want to do. So it's called Drop at Your Stop. You can get dropped off at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. Chrysler IMAX Dome is right there, and the Michigan Science Center. They're all right in one location. Or you might want to go to the Detroit Institute of Art, which is pictured here, and that is the #1 art museum in America. Or right there is also the Detroit Historical Museum. Or you might want to go to Greektown, where there's shopping, restaurants and bakeries, and of course the Hollywood Casino. Or if you really want, you could go to the Motown Museum too and take a tour there, and we would return back to pick you up halfway through the day and take you to another location. On day 3, we're offering an optional drop-off at Greenfield Village or the Henry Ford Museum of Innovation. If you don't want to do that, we have an optional guided in-the-bag day. So you're going to get a bag when you get on the coach, and you're going to fill it throughout different stops that we're making. Better Make Snack Foods is one of the stops. Sanders Chocolate and Ice Cream. We're going to have lunch at Aspen Restaurant, which is, it looks like an up north kind of cabin feel. Hamtramck Museum, which is a museum about the Polish and how they came into Hamtramck. The Polish Art Center, and visit the Polish Market and Bakery. Best of all, you'll be spending the day with me. Guided tour Belle Isle. This is one of my favorite places in Detroit. I love going to Belle Isle and just relaxing. It's very serene and beautiful. So I'll take you on a fully guided tour of Belle Isle. All right, Kansas City with Barbecue with a Beat. If you're a barbecue food person, this is a tour for you. Or if you're curious about the difference between St. Louis and Kansas City barbecue, another good reason to take this tour. September 2nd through the 5th. It's a short 4-day getaway, packed with lots of great food like St. Louis barbecue dinner, We're also going to tour the National Blues Museum, which is the blues music was huge in St. Louis. So it's the perfect tribute to that. Then we're going to make our way down to Kansas City and we're going to do a barbecue dinner with jazz music. Because in Kansas City, it has a jazz music background. We will also tour the American Jazz Museum. And one of the unique places we're going to tour is the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, which is absolutely fantastic. The displays are just amazing. And then to complete our time there, we're going to do a cooking demonstration and dinner at the Culinary Center of Kansas City. All right, another trip to Detroit. This is Motown's 65th anniversary, September 9th through the 12th. If you are a Motown fan, this is a tour for you. Again, we're going to be spending 3 nights at the Radisson Southfield. We're going to go on a guided tour, and you're going to see a lot of the homes of the some of the former residents, the Motown residents. This is Berry Gordy's mansion. We're also going to take a tour of Woodlawn Cemetery, where the Franklin family graves are, and a lot of Motown legends are actually buried here. We'll take a tour of the New Bethel Baptist Church, was a leader in the civil rights movement here in Detroit. But also, it was Aretha Franklin's father's church. And there is a history room that you'll be able to tour too that has lots of artifacts and photographs from the civil rights movement to some of the historical figures that have visited the church. Of course, we're going to take a tour of the Motown Museum, Hitsville, USA, before we continue on to the Fisher Building, which is the largest art object in Detroit. It is amazing how beautiful this building is. From the hand-carved doors, you can see all of this. It is absolutely one of the most spectacular buildings to tour. And we have the only guided behind-the-scenes tour of the Fisher Theater. It is an amazing thing. You usually get to step on stage and see what it's like to, if you were standing there, to be a performer on the stage. Then for the main event, the Motown event, Bert's Motown Bistro is where it's located. You'll walk the hallway that has all these amazing murals of Motown. You're going to meet 5 different legends who are going to talk about their time at Motown, including Miller London. And he does a fantastic talk about his time at Motown Records. And then, of course, the evening wouldn't be complete without a Motown-themed dinner and Motown music. Another unique adventure is you are going to be able to ride in a historic Packard vehicle. So we're going to the Packard Proving Grounds, which is an absolutely gorgeous place in and of itself. But we actually are going to take people out on the what's left of the Proving Grounds, and you get to take a spin in one of the vintage cars. You'll also tour the historic auto barn and the home, where they have an interesting story about these small bedrooms and how they used them for employees and contractors. We'll take a behind-the-scenes tour to see how records are pressed at Third Man Pressing. And on a tour of Belle Isle, you'll see the James Scott Memorial Fountain on Belle Isle and beautiful Detroit skyline views from Sunset Point on Belle Isle. Now, if you want to have a laughing good time, I Love Lucy in upstate New York, September 14th through the 19th. This is the tour for you. It is definitely filled with great sightseeing, lots of humorous moments. We're going to tour the Lucy Desi Museum, and we will also take a Lucille Ball hometown tour. So you're going to see from the birth to her final resting place and everything in between, including murals and her art that's been displayed around. We're going to do lunch in the recreated Tropicana room. If you remember, Ricky Ricardo had the Tropicana Club for his shows. Well, this is the recreated version of the Tropicana room. And then we're going to tour the National Comedy Center, which is one of the best museums in the country, all dedicated to the art of comedy. As we make our way to Buffalo, New York, we're going to tour the Frank Lloyd Wright designed Darwin Martin House. And once we get into Buffalo, we'll do dinner at Anchor Bar in Buffalo, home of the Buffalo Wings. This is where they started. We'll visit the U.S. side of Niagara Falls and do the Maid of the Mist cruise. You'll have time to check out Observation Tower and take in the views from there. We'll take a tour of Old Fort Niagara. And of course, the Niagara Falls illumination, you'll see it from the U.S. side. Now, no I Love Lucy tour is complete without a chocolate stop, so of course we'll be stopping at Platter's Chocolate Factory, learn about their chocolate and take in a few samples. And of course, the Carousel Factory Museum, because it's just a really cute place, kind of brings you back to your childhood when you remember going on all these ornate carved carousel rides. Amazing Apostle Island, September 28th through October 1st. This is one of our trips that sells out every year because we rent out the entire Bayfield Inn, which is a waterfront property, for 3 nights. We have our bus board on the ferry and we ferry over to Madeline Island, do a local guided sightseeing tour of Madeline Island with lunch on the pub. And then we do also a 3-hour grand cruise aboard the Apostle Island cruises. So we go around the Apostle Islands, not just touring on one, but we go around them too. We have lunch at the Old Rittenhouse, Wisconsin's only 5-star dining. And we have a locally guided sightseeing tour of Bayfield, including stopping at a couple farms. All right, Agawam Canyon and Mackinac Island, September 30th through October 3rd. This is a super savings vacation, and it's a great price, $679 per person based on double occupancy. We have 3 nights at the newly remodeled Keewatin Casino Hotel in Sault Ste. Marie. The optional tour on day 2 is Mackinac Island. It's $40. You can ferry over to Mackinac Island. We go on a special cruise, so we'll cruise underneath the Mackinac Bridge. And you will have a day free to do whatever you would like on Mackinac Island, from biking to horse-drawn carriages. There is so much to do. On day 3, we have an optional excursion to the Agawam Canyon Tour Train excursion. This is in Canada, so if you're taking this excursion, you do need a passport. You do not need a passport for the rest of the tour, just this optional number 2 trip. October 6th through the 8th, you can join us on cruising the Ohio River all day aboard the Celebration Belle. I was able to do this on the Mississippi River a couple years ago, and it is a fantastic day. The Celebration Belle really is a beautiful boat to begin with, but they give you breakfast, lunch, and dinner aboard the boat. There's narration, there's entertainment, there's plenty to do and see as we're cruising down the Ohio River. From Madison, Indiana to Cincinnati, Ohio. So our first night, we'll overnight at a hotel in Madison, Indiana. Second day, we get up, we board the Celebration Belle for our all-day cruise. We'll then pull into Cincinnati, Ohio, and we'll overnight there. And on our last day, before we depart there, we'll tour the brand new Black Music Walk of Fame and see all of that. That's brand new in Cincinnati. The Colors of Door County. We were asked by many people to produce this tour, October 8th through the 10th. We're going to stop at the Door Peninsula Winery for some samples as we enter Door County. There's plenty of scenic drives with our local Door County guide, and you can imagine the fall foliage is absolutely going to be beautiful. We're going to ferry to and from Washington Island, and when we're on Washington Island, we're going to do a whole guided tour, including the Washington Harbor and Schoolhouse Beach, the Farm Museum, the church, the Man's Mercantile. It's a full day on Washington Island. As we get back to the mainland, we will then stop at the Island Lavender Company store in Fish Creek and do a Door County fish boil. We also have tour and shopping at Sequest Orchards Farm Market. And on our way home, we'll stop at the Von Steele Winery for some samples again. All aboard to the Mountain Trains of West Virginia Fall Foliage, October 12th through the 19th. Beautiful time to go. The scenery should be absolutely beautiful with all the fall colors. One of the railroads we're going to do is the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad. We will also tour the new Tigert Flyer Rail. You can see it goes through the mountain areas, beautiful. The Potomac Eagle Scenic Railroad. And as we make our way home, we'll be in Pittsburgh, and we will do the Incline Railway as well. Now, some of the entertainment, the Gandy Dancer Theater in West Virginia. We'll take in a show there. We'll tour the West Virginia Railroad Museum and a special declassified bunker tour at the Greenbrier Hotel. This is very unique because this relates back to the Cold War and where the president would go. Enjoy the beautiful views of Blackwater Falls and so much more on this fall foliage adventure. Ozark Mountain Fall Foliage, October 18th through the 24th. I am going to show you one of the top reasons you need to take this tour. Clinton Presidential Library and Museum. We will take a tour of that. We have a special feature of dinner at Chris Olson's Edgemont home. Chris Olson is an amazing gardener and He's very artistic, so he's invited us into his home for dinner. Little Rock sightseeing tour, so you're gonna see all the history come alive, including the mill. Historic Hot Springs guided tour, and we're doing dinner at the Ohio Supper Club, which relates back to the gangster days. Now, this is the reason why you want to take this tour. If you love fall foliage and colors, this is the highest point, Mount Magazine in Arkansas. We are going to have a park ranger led tour, Mount Magazine, and we are staying for 2 nights at the lodge at Mount Magazine. And you can see it circled right here in red. It's way on top of the mountain. It should be the most beautiful scenery. All aboard the Arkansas-Missouri Railway for a nice, beautiful scenic ride. And before we return home, we'll tour the Fort Smith National Historic Site and the Walmart Museum, too. Christmas in Branson, November 4th through the 8th. This is already a guaranteed departure. We have home pickup on it, so that's really nice. Don't have to leave your car anywhere. 5 fantastic shows, and we added some other sightseeing, too. Decades of the Christmas Show. This will take you through different decades and Christmas music. Clay Cooper's Ozark Mountain Country Christmas Express show. This is really a good high energy show. Hot Rods and High Heels, their Christmas show. So think 1950s meets Christmas. Haygood's Christmas Extravaganza. This is one of the #1 rated shows in Branson to do for the holidays. We also have some unique sightseeing like Top of the Rock Lost Canyon cart tour. So you're going to be riding around on these little carts and taking a tour. And then we always include the Joy of Lights Christmas Lights drive-through. It's always a great way to be in Branson and see all the Christmas lights. Stocking Stuffer, a 3-day trip to Fremont, Ohio, December 2nd through the 4th. If you've never been on a stocking stuffer, what we do is we give you a stocking when you get on the coach and you fill it throughout your time on the tour. Your first thing you're going to do is wine and vino bingo with Santa and Mrs. Claus. We're also going to paint a Christmas ornament. We're going to visit Cherry City Honey Farm. We're going to learn about the honey process, and we're going to do a beeswax project there. You'll tour the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Home. We'll also take in a holiday cocoa jar project, and of course you'll be taking that home as well. Watch White Christmas on the big screen, complete with a warm holiday meal. And the Rock and Awe Holiday Light Show. This is a light show that happens right there at this building, and they have all different lights that come up in different displays on the building. Christmas at the Presidential Homes of Virginia. This is an 8-day tour, December 3rd through the 10th. I did this tour in 2021, and it was fantastic. It was one of the best tours I've ever done. We're going to tour the First Lady's Library and Museum, see some of their displays and their outfits that they wore. We're also going to tour Montpelier, James Madison's home. Look at how beautiful that is. The Berkeley Plantation is another one of our mansions that we're going to be touring. And you're going to see the Christmas decorations. As you can see, they're a little bit different than what we're used to today. It was a lot of fruits and wreaths and pine and things like that. This is the backyard area. Then we're going to continue on to Monticello. Thomas Jefferson's Monticello. We'll be taking a guided tour of that. Then we'll be moving on to Williamsburg. You'll be there during the Grand Illumination, which is full of fireworks. All you do is have to look up. We'll take a guided tour of Williamsburg. We'll go inside the courthouse and see what it would have been like in that day for a court hearing. And you'll have some free time for shopping and exploring on your own in Colonial Williamsburg. We'll tour the American Revolution Museum at Yorktown. This is a fantastic museum filled with a lot of colonial and inspirational things for the United States of America, including some of the attire they wore and lots of great displays. We will tour George Washington's Mount Vernon, and I love being here at this time of the year because there weren't a lot of people. It was not really crowded. It was great. So you'll take a tour of Mount Vernon. You'll have time to explore all the outbuildings all throughout the area and even into the visitor center. And this is the back view. On our way home, we'll stop at the Stan Hewitt Hall and Gardens, and this is a fun mansion that we tour. Every room has a different theme of holiday decorations, and they leave you in awe. It's just absolutely fantastic. Then we will tour the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Library and Museum. That's always a fun thing to do. The McKinley Presidential Library and Museum as well. This is the National Memorial that's located right there. When I was there in 2021, they had a special railroad exhibit going on. And then they have a section that you can walk through that's like a little village recreated and beautiful holiday decorations. 2026 adventures. I'm just going to cruise through these, give you a little preview of what's coming. Louisiana Belle and Bow Adventure, February 21st through the 27th. This spends 4 nights on the grounds in the cabins at the Nottoway Plantation. I have done this before. It was many years ago. It's been completely redone. It was under new ownership and it's been completely revamped. It should be some of the most beautiful accommodations, and I absolutely loved my stay there the last time. So I am looking forward to this. Heart of America is a super savings vacation, so we're staying at casinos, and there's 3 different optional tours. One of them goes to Memphis. Mobile Music and the Dauphin Islands, March 15th through the 22nd. This is Alabama. It is a brand new destination for us. Actually, in 26 years of doing tours, I have never been to this area. Looking forward to it, and it even includes home pickup. Nashville, Music City, USA, April 12th through the 15th. This is definitely going to be fun, and we already have reservations on this. Stunning, South Dakota, May 17th through the 22nd. Look at the value price on this, $999 per person based on double occupancy for a 6-day trip. We know this is going to sell out, and we already have reservations on the book on this. Niagara Falls, May 25th through the 29th, 2026. This goes to Canada. So you will need a passport for this. And one of our feature things that we're going to be doing in 2026 is America's 250th anniversary maritime celebration, Virginia Beach and Norfolk, Virginia. This is going to be incredible. This is something you won't see again. We also offer daycations, like we have a lavender fields coming up in June. We have a Frank Lloyd Wright tour of Racine in June. We have a Chicago Sky and Sea, which was, people asked us to bring it back again this year. Last year we did it for the first time and everybody loved it so much. They asked us to bring it back for this year, so we did. Lots of daycations coming up. Cash out casino trips. We do casino day trips and mini vacations. And thank you for watching this travel show. Save $25 on any new reservation on any Happy Times tour of 4 days or more if you make your reservation before May 21st, 2025. I highly encourage you to do that. Just give our office a call, 414-867-2727, and just let them know you watched the whole travel show, and the end slide says you get a $25 off a trip of 4 days or more if you booked before May 21st. And here you are. You're booking it. You're ready to go traveling and experience some happy times with us. We hope you can join us. Thank you so much for listening to this travel show. We look forward to seeing you on a tour.